degenerates that like to talk about it. My name is Michael. With me, as always, is Tori. Tori, how are you?
How you doing?
I'm good. We are going to talk about Monday Night Raw. A lot of interesting things happen on this episode. The transcripts of this particular episode come from Bleacher Report. Um, so we're now 2 weeks away from Royal Rumble, and it just definitely looks like we're trying to get ducks in a row. Though I'm still really confused how someone gets in the Rumble anymore. Uh, whether we give these slots away to people that just say I'm going to be in it, or whether you have to fight for it. But it is what it is, I guess. We got to see Bobby Lashley come out. We get to see a possibility of some maybe hurting business going on. We also got to see Grand Theft Auto Dom um, doing his shtick again.
Is that what we're calling him now?
What?
I said, is that what we're calling him now?
Yeah, GTA Dom. We start off the night with Mustafa Ali versus Solo Sakura. Um, before this match got underway, we saw a little snippet of Ali coming to the arena, dressed in a nice suit, looking amazing. And he just mentions that last week everybody got to have their chance to give some energy back to the bloodline that they've been giving us over the last couple of weeks. Everybody got to do that except for me. So tonight I'm gonna take that piece out of Solo. Not a good pick, but needless to say,
I love Mustafa Ali. I stand about as much chance as he does against Solo.
yeah. And that's about how this worked. Um, so before that though, so the Usos and Solo Sikoa make their way to the ring. And they're doing their normal shtick, hey, it's us, we're in your city. And then Judgment Day's music comes up, and out comes Judgment Day. They have some good back and forth, but the most fun of it all was Dom doing his best to channel his Uncle Conan. Says, you know what? In the clink, none of y'all would have lasted nearly as long as I did. You wouldn't have
You were
lasted.
there for like 4 hours.
And of course, Jay and Jimmy looking absolutely astounded by what they're being told. And he was like, we called people, what we call Usos? Where I was, we called them wannabe essays. And the biggest wannabe out of all of y'all is that man standing back there, not doing a damn thing. In which case, Solo parts the Uso C, walks up and stares him in the face. Biggest pop of the night was, since he's now staring at Dom, Rhea gets in between them and stares at Solo. And so we get a nice little moment there. At that point,
I don't think Solo's scared to hit a girl.
I think he questioned it, which is why we end up getting what we got is so he's staring at Rhea, and Rhea's like, go ahead, hit me, do what you're gonna do. Dom hits him out of nowhere. And then we get a nice little brawl between everybody. Everybody's spilled out of the ring now, though, and now we're just back to Rhea and Solo in the ring staring at each other again. And she's, again, hit me. Go ahead, hit me. And as he's thinking about what he's going to do, Ali comes off the top rope with basically a Thez press of sorts and starts waylaying on him. We go to commercial and we come back to the match.
It went how you expect.
It went about like you'd expect. We return from it, and we got Solo, and he's taking it to Ali. Kevin Owens makes an appearance and fought the Usos at ringside, allowing Ali to take Sikoa down with a huge tornado DDP for a close 2 count. However, he goes up for the 450 splash. Solo gets out of the way of that. Samoan Spike, ball game, we're done. Good, it was a good segment. It reminds me a lot of like Attitude Era type feel. Because it was just boom, 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 boom.
I really like how they're booking Solo.
Yes.
It obviously has Umaga vibes, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with it at all. He's carrying it perfectly. To me, it's one of those that if we'd have had something like this when Umaga was around, this is exactly how it would have gone.
Yeah. You know,
Except I don't think he would have lost to Santino.
that was a great moment though. Um,
It was so good.
so now we get the Street Profits versus Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, who are accompanied by MVP. Um, First of all, Corey Graves' hate for Dawkins wearing a Bengals jersey was just funny. Like, just because he is just him. He runs off at the mouth, and it's always fun. Um, so we end up Street Profits getting the win. MVP tried to talk to Alexander and Benjamin after it was over, but they seemed upset and left. So kind of continuing that.
Got
Will the
billed.
Hurt Business come back together? Will they not? We get another moment of that later. And then we get a match. I'll be honest, I didn't see it. I watched the Hulu episode, and so this wasn't on the Hulu episode, and I can understand why, because it was Omos versus Elias.
This was 95% Omos. Because this is about, I came in during the Street Profits Hurt Business match.
Yeah. Transcript
This
here
match
says
was
this was a
stupid.
short and an uneventful
Yes.
match, but that it wasn't terrible. So
It wasn't bad. It didn't do anything.
yeah. Apparently, though, this was because of a run-in that MVP and Elias had backstage.
Rampage special.
Yeah, so we didn't know who was going to be facing MVP, and then Elias seemed surprised it was Omos. I don't know why you'd be surprised that it was Omos.
He thought he was wrestling MVP.
Yeah.
MVP said, I never said it was going to be me.
There was a segment before this match that saw Bayley agree to face Becky Lynch inside of a steel cage. It was an interesting back and forth between the two, because it was basically like she kind of tricked her into it. She's like, so you don't have a problem, she being Becky, you don't have a problem facing me one-on-one next week. No. You don't have a problem facing me one-on-one. No. You don't have a problem facing me one-on-one in a steel cage match.
Right.
No?
She hesitated. She hesitated for a second and was like, I'm kind of stuck here. No, I don't.
Yeah. So we're going to get them in a cage match. That's going to be good.
That should be great.
We ended up with Alpha Academy versus Judgment Day. Alpha Academy apparently making a face turn. They were very.
I think they're making a face turn.
Yeah, which I'm here for. Like, their comedy gimmick anyway. If we can get some more love behind Otis, I love Otis in the ring when he's playing just that goofy guy. We got the Caterpillar back. We got the Oyaz back. Like, I'm good with that. I would like a little explanation from Chad of why he's okay with the Caterpillar now, because that was the big thing. Is he said you can't do that stuff anymore, and all of a sudden he's like, look, he's gonna do the thing.
I mean, if you're gonna have fun, you're gonna have fun. I mean,
yeah, it was a pretty standard tag match. They both got to shine, so it was really good to have that. Gable had the match won before Ripley distracted the ref, so Priest could then hit him with a choke slam. Dom made the cover for the win, so again, Dom winning the match. I love how they keep doing this. I do like something that happened at the very beginning of it, just because I always like this kind of fun stuff with wrestlers, because I'm a wrestler. I wrestled in high school myself. Obviously, you can't tell by this manly physique, but the fact that Chad Gable went for a double leg on Dom like immediately, which then he jerked it. He didn't actually go in for it, and it caused Dom to drop down to his stomach, and then he was just like, "What?" So that was kind of fun. We had Io Sky versus Mia Yim. So Sky took control early on this match and began running Yim from corner to corner. She inflicted the damage. Candice LeRae ended up being part of this match.
after the match, I think it was after the match, they started to beat down on Mia, and Candice ran out and jumped in.
Yeah. She took Kai down, so Sky took her out with the baseball slide. Yim took advantage and ended up scoring the win, but Kai immediately jumped on top of her. Um, then Lorray helped Yim clear the ring of damage control to end the segment. I mean, they keep these guys going. Is what it is. One thing I did notice though that I want to know if you noticed, you probably didn't because you felt like trash. Um, Behind the announcers, there was a wild Nikki.
No.
Nikki Cross was in the crowd during this match. So
Damn it,
just little
seriously?
moments like that, just little moments. Um, and this leads us to the beatdown of the night. We had Bronson Reed versus Akira Tozawa. Tozawa didn't have a chance. He just got murdered.
Yes, he did.
Despite a few moves, Reed was able to secure the win with a huge splash. But yeah, like
It was
good
bad.
lord, he
And
threw him around like a rag doll.
this is the kind of thing they need to do to establish Bronson Reed as the monster that he is.
Yeah.
But that man can move for a big boy.
Yep. All right, now we're at the main event. I didn't realize when I first started watching this that this was an elimination match, so I thought
I
Seth Rollins
neither.
won. I was
You're
like, "Holy
right.
crap! Seth
I was
Rollins
like,
won this
oh,
match." But no, this was a
okay.
elimination match. It was Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley versus Baron Corbin versus Finn Balor versus The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. Um, so before this, just to kind of touch up on that a little bit, Ali did have a backstage segment with Dolph, which I found very interesting. He was basically saying like, "Look, like you screwed me over. Like I should have been in that tag team scramble, and now again you're looking out for yourself. Now you're in a match that could get you a title shot, and here I am still just back here." And then he just like whopped him. He was like, "Think about that," and walked away. So I kind of like the fact that he was able to knock somebody out this week instead of him being knocked out like it's been every week. So
That poor bastard.
I'm good with this. Um, so these with it being an elimination match, Miz ended up being the first man out after Rollins hit him with a stomp. Ziggler was the second man out, who found himself being eliminated. He was followed by Balor and then Corbin. This left Rollins and Lashley as the final two men fighting over the chance to challenge for the U.S. title. At this point, Omos and MVP came out, which you could tell Bobby was very confused by, which I don't blame him because you have MVP, that's one thing, and you've been trying to patch things up with him, but you have Omos who made your life live in hell for a couple of months. Odd situation.
Very different thing.
Yep. Um, Lashley seemed confused by this, and Theory ended up knocking him down with the U.S. title. Rollins took out Omos and Theory before Lashley nailed Rollins with a spear to end the match out. So I mean, it's Bobby Lashley versus Theory. There's a lot of rumor and conjecture right now as far as Bobby Lashley turning heel. I don't see that happening because he's still got to face Theory. So
Here's the
face
thing.
works from time to time. Heel I've never seen work.
I think they can make it work if the MVP angle is part of it. Um, I've been open about the fact I'm not a huge Lashley fan. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not. I think he's better as a heel. I think the Hurt Business works as a heel stable. The problem is Shelton and Cedric are getting such good responses right now. I think the Hurt Business works as a heel stable more than they do as a face.
They do.
I just don't know how you're going to do it with Sheldon and Cedric right now, just because they're pretty popular.
Yeah. It's all gonna be weird. Like I don't doubt that they could do it, but it's very much an odd situation. Um, One thing that wasn't in the transcripts here that I want to make sure I don't miss is we had Bianca Belair come back uh, from being, you know, stomped all to hell. and bruised up. Her basically saying like she's back, and the scars on her face will just remind her of how much she wants to deal with this. We do get Alexa Bliss coming out, and then Belair beats the living tar out of her all the way across everywhere until they get to in the crowd over by one of the small little entryways that lead out to catering or one of those, or not catering, excuse me, the food
Right.
court and that such. And then we see smoke and a familiar silhouette, excuse me, of Uncle Howdy, which then causes Belair to drop what she's doing, and then got hit with a sick DDT. So, more fun stuff with Alexa and Uncle Howdy. Like to see that and see where that's going to go.
Yeah, it's for being 2 weeks out from Rumble. This show didn't do a lot.
It didn't. I mean the entire run through the show wasn't there this time. Like there was
It
not a
wasn't,
common thread. There wasn't a really a build up of much. It's almost like it
and
was
the sad
tying up
part is,
loose.
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say that it only thing it seemed to be doing is it seemed to be tying up matches that we knew were already happening. Um, like I didn't need to have a rematch with Alpha Academy versus Judgment Day. There's no reason for that. Um, you could have just said Bobby Lashley's facing Theory. We didn't have to have the 6-pack challenge for that.
You know what this show felt like?
Hmm.
Like Vince booked it.
So, ironically enough, there's a lot of rumor about that because it did seem like a very disassociated with the rest of the product. My hope is because there's enough in here that are through lines of things that have been coming that I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping it's just a bad show because there's going to be bad shows.
Right, it's gonna
So
happen.
maybe we just hit a bump in the road because we're 2 weeks out. Trying to hurry up
I
and
hope I
tie
hope
some
that's
stuff
what
up.
it is, but it just kind of occurred to me that this was some Vince booking. Like
Yeah.
it seemed a lot like Vince booking. It may
Yeah.
not be, but
But having the Nikki in the crowd, having the Hurt Business stuff, the
right.
Uncle Howdy coming out, I'm hoping that it was just a bad episode. Not that it was horrible. I mean, there's some good matches on here, but it just nothing really seems like it got advanced. We're still in a holding pattern for everything that we already knew was coming. Um, but we'll see what happens on SmackDown. Definitely still looking forward to see what's going on there. Maybe we'll hear more about what this Mountain Dew Pitch Black Orange Delight fantasy match is. I don't know.
Are we
Hopefully we
gonna
get
have
to
another match in the back of a truck driving on the highway? Is that what we're doing?
say that bunkhouse match was badass. I don't care what they say.
That shit was trash.
I mean, first of all, you got to do that was over the hill, and you have Dustin Rhodes, which love Dustin, absolutely love Dustin. But then you put them in the back of a truck and like, all right, wrestle. What?
So dumb.
Um, but anyway, so like, hopefully we'll see more of what that's going to be, and hopefully we hear from LA Knight because I was kind of missing him talk on the mic. I was
It'll
watching.
definitely be interesting. I mean, you can tell how kind of disjointed this episode was by how short this is because we don't have a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
There just
there wasn't a
wasn't a
lot.
lot to talk about.
Yeah, definitely not a lot, not a lot of meat
Yeah,
on this week's episode. It was definitely very much a holding pattern. Um, which then again, it might be because of what we got going on next week. Next week's the Raw XXX, I guess, which is funny because why would we use those letters? But whatever. But it's the Raw reunion show next week, so maybe that's why. Maybe it was just we're leading up to that.
I
Um,
hope so.
the thing I kind of find weird about that though is why are we doing the Go Home Raw is a Raw reunion show? That's a little weird to me. But my hope is that means we're going to bring some legends in for the Rumble, and then that's like this is kind of catering to that. Maybe I don't know.
I
Um,
see that. I don't want to know.
no, I don't disagree.
I love when somebody comes out for that I have no idea was going to be there.
And that
Don't ruin that for us.
makes me think of a tweet I saw the other day. Someone had said it's an unpopular opinion, they're sure, but having the same legends come out every year makes it less impactful that those legends are coming out. And I don't disagree.
No, I don't either.
I love Michelle McCool, but if I see her come out in every Rumble,
it's not.
then
There's
it's
nothing
not
special
special.
about it.
Yeah. Bring me a Jackie, bring me a Victoria. Bring me someone who doesn't come out all the time. And it's like, honestly, I would love to see it happen because she's the Impact champion again, and anytime I can see the Impact Championship on Raw on a WWE television, I'm fine. But it's the same thing with her. Like if she shows up again, it's not as special. She showed up last year. So give us some dooby.
Jordan Grace could show up. I'd be pretty happy with that.
They don't want to bring Jordan in there. Jordan tear up their roster. She showed a side by side of like when she first started with.
I saw that
out,
like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I
think she's at the point where she's more cut than her man.
And that's saying something because Jermaine Gresham is ripped.
Yeah, he's absolutely ripped. But her next to him, I'm like, that's, whew, goodness. They're gonna start a fire.
It's a lot of gym time.
Yeah. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks for spending your time with us. If you're enjoying this podcast, please support us, share this episode, share our channel, hit us up on the socials down there. If you want to watch the lexicon or backlog, you can get that right here at youtube.com at Kicking Out at 2. Until next time, I am Michael. This is Tori, and we will see you on the next one.